Hello, everyone. Welcome to another dose of Laura's Stamping Therapy. It is Wednesday, and I just wanted to jump on. Sorry, I didn't give more of a warning that I was coming on, but you just never know when the kids are going to be napping or not. That's Alex in the background yelling at the little toys above him and playing with his toes. So if you hear the crazy little squawking in the background, that would be Alex, who will be going down for a nap real soon. So, and Claire is napping right now. He really wants to be known in this video. So I just wanted to jump on and show you guys this super cute card, and I'm going to create them. I cut extras, so I actually have 4 cards that I get to make to put in my stash, so I'm super excited. This is actually a card design that I have been loving lately, and I feel like it's like my new card style, like the new norm for a card style for me. So this card is actually like a little pocket card. And it opens up like this, and then the little pocket has a little note card in it that then you can write your message on. So this actually uses the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper, which I'm super loving right now, and so are all of you guys, because so many of you guys have ordered this ever since it came out on August 3rd. So that's super exciting. I'm glad you guys are loving it too. I actually have a different print that I'm going to be using on today's cards, because this print I used both 12 by 12 sheets of, but look how fabulous this other sheet actually coordinates with this same style. So if I use this side, I probably would do more of a Christmas greeting, because I feel like those berries make it a little bit more Christmassy, but I'm actually just going to use this side, and you can see it's got those same colors in it. I used Soft Succulent and Pear Pizzazz, but then this darker green here is actually Evening Evergreen. So for stamping, I use Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen, but the cardstock colors are Pear Pizzazz and Soft Succulent. So I'm going to just show you how I made this card, and we'll stamp together. So if you're just joining in, welcome. Give me a shout out. You can say hello, or where you're from, or how your weather is. So the designer paper, the Painted Christmas, it coordinates with this Christmas season stamp set and the coordinating dies. I'm using I'm sorry, not that image. I'm using this image down here for the inside, as well as that front greeting. And then I also actually use the coordinating dies to get that cute little scalloped label that you see here. So you can see I did that little greenery right there. Hi, Shirley, welcome. And then I also stamped it on the inside. And then, of course, the die cuts did that little label there. But then the gratitude greeting comes from the well-defined stamp set, which is this one here. So it's got some cute little dictionary, funny dictionary greetings that you can use. Of course, that awesome to and from to use for tags. So really, you could swap the colors, swap the designer paper, or even just use the other side and still use those same stamp sets with those same greetings. And just like I said, you could do this side and use the Christmas or the winter greeting that goes with this, or even the holiday one would go with that too. Okay. So let's get started. I have a piece of the Soft Succulent. This is a regular half a sheet of cardstock. So a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. I'll get 2 of them. So you can see there's 8.5 by 11. And since I knew I was making multiples of these, I actually scored it prior to cutting it in half, so that I didn't have to I didn't have to score each individual piece. That's Alex, who's having fun, in case you're just jumping on. That's him playing in the background. But I went ahead and I scored it as an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. rather than cutting it in half for each individual card and then scoring it. So I actually scored it at 2.5, which you can't really see very well here on camera, but I scored it at 2.5. And then from the other end, I scored it at 2. So 2.5 down and 2 inches up. It does actually make this center area a smidge smaller than your regular card base. Regular card base is 4.25, and this is actually just 4, so that you have a little bit of that overlap. You'll see, like with this, there's a little bit of overlap. There's like a 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch there, and that's because I went into it a little bit farther. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on these score lines. Let me grab my bone folder here. Whoop, almost through it. So I'm just going to score on, or fold these score lines. And again, that was 2.5 from the top and 2 inches from the bottom. Like I said, it gives a little bit of that overlap there. And then we have our designer series paper. So this actually measures 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to add that with my regular adhesive. Now you can also use regular adhesive to adhere the little pocket down, but I also sometimes like to use tear and tape just to get that, that nice, strong, tight seal, as well as knowing that I got it really close to the edge. Because we definitely don't want our pocket to be too small to where we're like jamming that little card in. So instead, we have a little bit more room. And tear and tape is nice and thin, and you can get really close to the edge. So you're actually going to be making the pocket with the smaller side. So I'm just going to add the tear and tape right there. I absolutely love tear and tape because you can just tear it with your fingers and you don't need to gunk up any scissors with a sticky tape. So let me know, do you guys like tear and tape? Do you use it? Do you just prefer to use one adhesive for all? I do know that sometimes peeling this paper backing off can sometimes be a little frustrating. So I totally get that. I know some people use like the poker tip of the take your pick tool to like grab at it, but I don't find myself to be very agile with that thing. And then for that top piece that is done in Pear Pizzazz, I actually ran that through an embossing folder using the Tasteful Textiles. So that just kind of gives the top a little bit of extra fun to it. So that's this piece here. It's kind of like a subtle, just wiggle or something. Like, I don't know. It's not really a lot of texture. It's not really a specific, I don't really find it to be like specifically elegant or classic or anything like that, like a stripe or a filigree or something like that. I just find it to be just some texture. So that's going to go on that top lip. And this actually measures, this one is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. Let me verify that just to be sure. Yes, 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 up top, 1 3/4 by 5 1/4 on that bottom piece. So now we have our 2 pockets, and then on those inside panels, I just did that greenery piece, and I did it in soft succulent. So what I actually did is I took the greenery piece from the Christmas season stamp set, and I stamped it once, and then just picked up and moved it up and over a little bit and stamped it again. So then it kind of gives that like two-tone greenery look. So it just kind of fills it out a little bit more with that, like I said, that two-tone look without stamping like two of them. It sort of just has that nice soft look in the corner. And this I went ahead and I added to a layer of the Pear Pizzazz just to pull in a little bit more Pear Pizzazz and to add a little extra thickness to that greeting piece. And then that just slides right inside and you can write on that. You can also stamp a greeting on that if you would like. Kind of depends on how much you plan on writing. Sometimes, like, I write big, and then if I include the whole family, then I usually put hugs, Brad, Laura, Claire, and Alex, as I was like, Clalix. But Brad, Laura, Claire, and Alex. So there's my two insides. And because I write really big, then I tend to just keep with a minimal greeting if I have a small area. Okay, so now for this inside piece, I'm going to stamp in Evening Evergreen, which is that darker green you see in the designer paper. And just add that. And then I'm going to take that same greenery piece, but I'm going to ink it up in Soft Succulent. And then it's all inked up. Let me grab a piece of scrap paper. And I'm just going to stamp off. You can either stamp off and hold for a long time and just stamp once, or you can stamp off twice. But you want it to be pretty light because you don't want it to overshadow that greeting. You just want it to be that soft, subtle, like background piece. So you can see this one also has that subtle background. So it's just enough to kind of be like, oh, that is super cute, without being like, oh, I can't even read the greeting. So then I took some linen thread and just spread my fingers out a little bit and wrap it around my fingers. Typically like 3 or 4 times. And then I feel like there's a piece of my hair stuck in the linen thread or stuck around my fingers. There we go. I got it. Okay, so then I just kind of pull the loops off and I'm holding the ends with my thumb. And I'm going to make like a figure 8 and then lay that figure 8 down onto my label. And then just add Stampin' Dimensionals. So usually I add a Stampin' Dimensional right there in the center first. So now I can let go. And then I like to kind of like pull these apart and fan them out. And then I use Stampin' Dimensionals to secure all of those ends. And yes, I know I'm a Stampin' Dimensional overuser. So I use a lot. So just spread these out. And I always fill in with some more dimensionals all the way around. Do you guys love dimensionals as much as me, or do you always roll your eyes whenever I start adding dimensionals like, oh my gosh, she's crazy again? Do you love Stampin' Dimensionals? I love Stampin' Dimensionals. Ah. And I totally just set that down. Okay. And then we're just going to add this to the front of our card. And so you can see that linen thread really just kind of adds a little extra texture, a little extra foofy, just a little bit. Like it's nothing too in your face. It's not like, it kind of keeps with the rustic theme of the card without making it like fancy and elegant like a pearl or rhinestone might do. So it just kind of keeps it chill, but also adds a little extra fun. Also, if you saw as I turned my hand over, it really is healing super well. But I think it's because the knife was super sharp. So I was cutting an English muffin, trying to cut it in half, and it was frozen. I'm sure you are picturing where this is going. And totally cut into my hand. Pretty deep, I felt like. I instantly like pulled the knife back out. I mean, it just cut, but I just instantly like grabbed my hand and was like, I just cut myself. Of course, Claire is like running around like a crazy person, and I'm like, can you just chill for a minute because mommy just cut herself, and I just like, because I was just afraid blood was just going to start dripping everywhere, and then she would freak out. So it actually didn't bleed that much. I then got like a wet paper towel and put it there, and then immediately put a Band-Aid on, and it really stayed under control. But this super weird thing, so this was at breakfast, so I hadn't had anything to eat yet. The super weird thing is like I actually felt like kind of lightheaded and like weird afterwards. I've never really had that problem. But I think it was just the fact that I was hungry and I was kind of shocked because I really thought it was pretty bad. I mean, it is pretty bad, and it's pretty deep, but I think it's just such a clean, simple cut that it's healing very well. But yeah, that was fun. That was Monday, I think. I don't even remember what day it is. I keep thinking it's later in the week than it is, but there's our quick and simple, cute gratitude card. Like I said, I am loving this style of card. I've done another one like this a couple weeks ago, months ago, a while ago, as a Facebook Live. So you can always check that one out too for other ideas. But it's just a cute little pocket card that I'm absolutely loving. And so I thought I would get on and stamp and share that with you. So check that out. I know, like I said, the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper is super hot right now. So many of you guys have been ordering it. And I'm glad you're loving it as much as me. And then, of course, this, like, I love this stamp set. I feel like this, like, has my mom's name written all over it. She's probably going to want to do her Christmas cards using this stamp set because she always wants, like, nature-y things, like pine cones and leaves and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm super loving that. Don't forget that with every $50 that you spend, that you get a free celebration item, which makes shopping right now so fabulous. Because I love to get extra free goodies, so I'm sure you guys do too. I do have another project that I'm going to share with you. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get on the next 2 days to share with you, possibly tomorrow because I really want to. But it uses some of this fabulous celebration items, including the sheep, which are so super cute. I will say the hottest celebration items that you guys seem to be loving so far is the Penguin Designer Series paper, which I actually have sitting right here next to me. So that's this paper here you guys are all loving. And then the sheep is probably the next item that you guys are all loving. So, yeah, which one do you guys like? Do you like the sheep or do you like the penguin paper? Because, yeah, I've seen so many orders come through with one of those two on there. So I know you guys are loving that. So sheep or penguins, I guess. It's an animal world right now. But yeah, celebration goes from now until the end of September. So you can get a free item with every $50 that you spend. So that's increments of 50. So you can get all your holiday card creation right now. Spend all your money right now and get free stuff. And you can always use the hostess code that's at the bottom here and use that hostess code when you're placing your order. If you are placing an order over 150 though, don't use the hostess code so that you can enjoy hostess benefits yourself. So that is all I have for today. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the day. Hopefully it's not that hot. I didn't really think it was that bad out today, but then my phone was saying that the real feel is 100 and I was like, ugh, that's kind of hot. So yeah. Just stay safe and stay healthy out there. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. And have a wonderful day. And I'll be back again soon.